Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Scoop with Chosen Payments. My name is Katie Martinez and I have Karl Guenther here with Statement Limousine. Hey Karl, how are you?
Good, Katie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Good. So I guess we'll just kind of jump right in, and obviously it's Statement Limousine. Tell us a little bit about your company. How'd you get started? What made you get into this crazy industry?
So I own Statement Limousine out of Cleveland, Ohio, and we actually just had our 5-year anniversary Monday on February 1st.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. It's been a rough, not a rough, but it's been a wild 5 years, let's put it that way. So I used to rent all the time, whether it was for our business before this or personal use for limousines and chauffeur ground transportation. And we started having service failures, just breakdown in performance and stuff like that. And we told ourselves we could do it better. And I got out of the previous business that I was in and did all the research and spoke with some people. And next thing you know, we're buying our first 2 limos. And with the mindset of offering a service here in the Cleveland market that was better than the guys that are here already. And that was January 15th, we bought our first 2 limos, and then February 1st, we opened our doors, and at that time, we had 4 vehicles at the time. Went from 4 vehicles, added our 5th in April of 16, and then grew from there. By July of 2019, we had grown to 12 vehicles. We had 2 of the largest limousine buses in the state, a 38-passenger and a 50-passenger limo-style vehicles. And on July 10th, we had a massive fire at our facility, and we had a 15,000 square foot facility that we lost all but 1 unit. And in the peak of July, it's our peak wedding season. We had grown to the point to where we were sold out almost every weekend. So we had a lot of weddings to do, out, and all that fun stuff, on top of all the corporate work we were doing during the week.
So I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry. You say fire.
Yeah.
You mean like total devastation. We've seen the pictures. Maybe not everybody has, but we're talking burnt to the ground.
Gone. I mean, what took 3.5 years to build was gone in literally about 3.5 hours.
So wait a minute. How was that phone call? What were you thinking when you got that? Because that's freaking insane. I can't, sure, a house burning down, obviously that's devastating, but your blood, sweat, and tears of doing this, and you're a young guy, you're what, 31, 32? Yeah, so all of that, and you get this phone call, or were you there when it happened?
No, so the building was actually on fire for about an hour before I got the phone call. And it was really weird, but I know most of the law enforcement, most of the police and fire in the area, and they actually told me they didn't want to call me because they didn't want me to see it, because they knew what we were going through to build it. I got the phone call at 5:46 in the morning, and I live about 17 minutes from my office, and I made it here in an unprecedented time. And when I pulled up, it was literally fully engulfed. 15,000 square foot facility the one side was already gone, burned to the ground, and the other side was literally collapsing as I pulled up. So immediately we did have 1 chauffeur on the road. That's why we did have 1 vehicle survive. And immediately I called him to make sure he was okay. And when he answered that phone, I heard his voice, my heart just sank. Because that's what I wanted to hear. The biggest thing was that nobody was hurt. But it was a moment to where you're watching literally your, like you said, your blood, sweat, and tears, your pride and joy literally go up in flames. And we were pretty much working on stuff immediately once we wrapped our head around it. Called the staff, talked to them, had my partners there, and instead that same day we reversed gears to take all of our work that we had brought in and turned around and start pushing it all back out. At this, like I said, at this time we were pretty much sold out for every weekend. And that year we were up 38% in revenue from 2018. So in our first 3 years, we were on track to do about 800,000 in our third year. So the volume that we had was a lot, but we made a promise to not only our staff, but also our customers that we were going to honor every single contract. And we did. We farmed out almost 300 reservations, made whole on every single contract, even the ones, this was on a Wednesday morning, the ones that were Friday and Saturday of that week, we made whole on.
So you actually stopped thinking about the building and started thinking about your customers or your clients, right? And didn't even bother with telling them, like, sorry, vehicles are no longer, you didn't allow any cancellations. You actually kept them all and like obviously farmed them out to other people and got them taken care of, but you didn't actually stress them out with, oh, sorry, your big day is now ruined because we don't have the vehicles anymore. It was more like, they probably didn't even know. They still had a vehicle show up as planned.
Yes, some did and some didn't, but our initial goal was to reach out to every single client prior to anyways. At this point in time, it was already on the news. The helicopters were there. It was on every front page. It was live streamed. What was that?
Did you get a lot of incoming calls from it?
The office did. Thank goodness that we had the lines rolled the night before, since we always roll our phones when we leave at night. So my general manager was inundated with phone calls and emails and stuff like that. We were upfront with everyone. And we gave them the options. Either we will refund you your money or we will find you a new home so we can service your day. And chances are, I mean, we have a better chance of finding an affiliate that'll do the work than you cold calling around and finding someone. And we had 2 cancellations, which one was a fireman, and he already knew what was going on. And they took it upon themselves. We issued a full refund to both of those guys. But almost 300 plus reservations we farmed out. And a lot of them I took a beating on because obviously I was not in the business I don't do farm outs. So it cost us money, but you know what? We maintained our reputation. We stood behind our product. And more importantly, throughout this whole time, we found homes for the employees that we did have that stuck with us. Some of them went to work with other companies for the time being. And it was nice because these other companies allowed my drivers to actually perform and service our weddings. So we were still having our guys work, and that was the biggest thing. It was one of those that we had to meet and honor our contracts. And failure was not an option. It was no, I would not take no. We had a lot of phone calls. There was a lot of affiliates that I had to talk to personally here in Cleveland. It was just one of those things, and they all stepped up. They really did help us out. But it was a very sobering, humbling experience that what we have today could be gone in an instant.
And don't you know that?
Those are all tangible things. I mean, so they could all be replaced. And I wasn't at that point in time. Once I knew my chauffeur was okay and there was no one in that building, it was what it was. And we just kept going from there. And we haven't skipped a beat.
So we're having this conversation today and we're still under Statement Limousine. So you obviously restarted and rebuilt. So I have to ask, why the hell did you do that?
Yeah, you're not the first person who's asked me that. A lot of people didn't think we were going to be able to make it as far as we did before the fire. Did have a lot of naysayers, at least in my market. And the drive was, when you saw everything on social media, all the comments, all the posts, and you won't find one negative comment about us through this entire process, actually about us as a company. And seeing the amount of support and the people outreaching and standing behind us was my big drive. Was the clients are there, the community is standing behind us, and more importantly, it was more so to prove everyone wrong that didn't believe that we can do this. And that was, like I said, January 10th of 2009 or July 10th of 2019. And then we rolled right back into coronavirus, 8 months to the day almost.
So you say that, it's funny. I was about to say, wait a minute, 2000 what? And we're going through what right now? And you're still sitting here with a smile on your face? Like, Jesus, you've been through a lot.
Yeah, so it was, we wanted to rebuild. We had it. We promised our staff and our clients that we would still be here. We weren't going anywhere. So at that point, we had to make it a reality. So right now we are back up to 8 units, ranging from sedans all the way back up to a 50-passenger limousine bus, and everything in between. Coronavirus has taken a toll. I mean, we were in Vegas at the end of February last year, and I actually had a brand new build sitting on the showroom floor that I took delivery of a week and a half after we all got back from Vegas.
So basically you got it when everything shut down?
Got it, and 3 days later, the governor shut the state down.
That was so hard. I remember we were in Vegas, we were all having fun, and it's funny that I say I remember because I usually don't remember anything at shows. But yeah, we got back from Vegas and you guys got hit. I want to say it was like March 9th, maybe to be specific, where everything
Was March 15th.
Well, that's when they shut the cities down. Cancellation started just a little bit before that. It was pretty crazy, but just to think of like how we were all together drinking, having fun, and you know, all being so close together, and
it was a wild ride. We went from being on this high and booming, get hit with the fire. We're climbing back up out of that. And like I said, we made whole on everything that we had on the books. And in the process, once we started adding vehicles back to the fleet, we started taking on new business. And we had our big bridal show the end of January, and we had taken in a ton of work. We do very well off our bridal shows. And that Sunday the 15th, the only reason I know that is because my brother got married that Sunday. I said, you got married, and then next thing you know, the state gets shut down, or the whole world, basically. I said, way to go. So that Monday morning, we had, by 11 o'clock, the books were it went from all being assigned and ready to go to canceled. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, talking with my general manager, I'm like, I don't know if we can do this again. And we were very, very fortunate that we only had 3 cancellations. Everyone else chose to carry their balances and reschedule their weddings. So we were very, very fortunate on that aspect.
Those hopeful bride and grooms. They think they're going to make it through COVID and still want to get married. No, let's circle back to that one. How many of them are actually starting to get married again? Are those buses going?
Absolutely. I'm looking at our books, and we have a very promising year coming up right now for 2021, barring nothing major changes between now and then. But you know what? As I said, it could all change in an instant. It's one of those things to where you get a new order tomorrow, and we're right back to square one. The business has been very steadily coming in for all new clients.
So what type of business do you see right now? Like, are you actually starting to pick those weddings back up, or do you see more like traveling type of stuff and like corporate stuff?
So January was actually was our busiest January on record since we opened. We were extremely busy and new work coming in, not actually doing as many runs as we'd like to be doing for the month, but a lot of future weddings. We're seeing a lot of wedding business come in, and if we do the stuff that we are getting that we're servicing right now is all last minute groups going out to dinner, anniversaries, birthdays, stuff like that. So it's very little corporate travels going on. So some of my buses are sitting, and we're typically seeing everything from about 24 passengers and down is what's moving. My corporate shuttles aren't moving, and the big limo buses aren't moving right now. But looking out throughout the year, once we hit about mid-April, beginning of May, we're looking to be on track as to a normal year. And that's fingers crossed that we maintain the trajectory that we're on. So, and if it does, it's a very promising sign.
That's good. So what would you say is your most common vehicle or popular vehicle going out right now?
Our biggest, my favorite vehicle is our F-750. It is the biggest one in Cleveland.
So retard language, what is that?
So our 750 is it's a 50-passenger limo bus. It's about 48 foot long. It's amazing when you go down the road. It's huge. It's mammoth. It's with our tagline, you make your statement, you pull up somewhere in that bus, people know you're there. But the most common thing we're seeing right now is that sweet spot of anywhere from 16 to 24. So that's our most common is about 18 to 19. So a lot of it is our 24 passenger bus that we took delivery of last November. And then the new one that I took 2 Novembers ago. And then I got a brand new one this past November. So those are moving a lot. And then you see, if it's not the bigger groups, it's the smaller groups, about 6 to 8. So, and those are going out in our new transit limos.
Sounds great. So you look like you have your books and your floor plan looking pretty good for the next couple of months. Do you have any big future plans coming up? Any new buys, add to your fleet, or just working on getting the business to maintain for the rest of the year?
We do have some prospective purchases on the horizon. Obviously, we're not
you like LGE, so you want to give them a little shout out. Hey, what's up, guys?
I do love David and Alexa. They built a phenomenal product. I'll actually be up there this weekend with them, and we've been talking about some new builds. Also looking at some possibly getting back into the stretch game to get stretch limousines. But we have a lot of stuff on the horizon. We're being very optimistic and very hopeful. Because the reality of the situation is you can't stop looking to the future. Things will turn back to what might not see the normal that we were used to, but we will see the new normal, whatever that's going to be. I can't foresee what the future for retail, for what corporate's going to be like, but I think the retail business is really going to be busy once people can get back out of the house.
Of course, we're all itching to get out. I was actually just text Sarah this morning and said, I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but I want to go back to Chicago just so we can hit up the express outlet that they have out there, because I blew through so much money with me and her going through that store, but I wanted to go out and go shopping. And so, yeah, you're right. Us retail people want to get out. We have an itch.
That's it. And, I keep looking forward to the future, and it's planning not only to grow the business, but figuring out ways to keep our employees employed, so they can feed their families and take care of themselves. It's in my opinion, that's our biggest asset. I can go buy as many buses and limos and anything I want, but if we don't invest in the people that run our business with us, that are the face of our companies, what's the point of having them? So that is that's what we're focusing on right now, is getting these guys and maintaining their work and having them to be able to pay their bills and provide for their families.
Yep. So you're super positive guys, super caring.
I try to be some days.
So there's always a goal in it for yourself though too. So besides Cooper, what do you think it is? It could be just Cooper. I mean, I'm all about Bruce. That'll be my answer all day long.
He's like my world. If it's not work, it's Cooper. So, he's not here with me today. He's actually over at my parents' house with my mom and dad's dog. Honestly, it's just been, for me, it's been maintaining on myself and just taking care of myself for the better, because if I can do that, everything else should fall into place.
It seems to be working for you, right? You keep getting all this shit thrown your way and you keep popping back up and still have a smile on your face. So you're doing something right. You should be proud of yourself. Good job.
Somebody literally asked me the morning of the fire, and it was after we had the fire department cut open our front door, what was left of my office. And when they opened the door, I have a banner, a 3 foot by 5 foot banner with their logo on it. And it survived. It's vinyl, so it's not. This fire got over 2,000 degrees, and knowing the firemen that I know them personally, and I said I need that. And mind you, it's covered in soot, ashes, boot prints. So that's actually hanging in my conference room. And we posted a picture of it that day on social media, made our statement that we're not going anywhere. We are in the process of taking care of everything we need to take care of. And somebody asked me, he's like, well, how can you be so positive and optimistic about this? And my response to him was, if I throw myself down in that front yard and start kicking and screaming and crying, is it going to unburn my building? And they looked at me and they said, no. I said, then what else do I have to do besides keep pushing forward? At this point in time, it's like I said, it's not about us. It's about our clients and our employees. And we have to do what we have to do. And we did. So that's about it.
You live to tell the tale. And it's an amazing one. It's pretty impressive. I can't imagine it. I don't know. There's no way in the world I would have been able to handle it the way that you did. I'm sure there's some that obviously could. And that's why you guys are business owners. That's why I get to be like an employee. I don't have to worry about that crap.
You know what? It is fun. I genuinely enjoy the industry, people that are in it. And the biggest thing is being a part of these people's special days, their most important days, and knowing that we were just a small part of it is good for me, and it makes me very happy. I know it's an accomplishment on our staff too. So
good stuff. So Karl, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time and sharing with us your amazing story. Hopefully it's smooth sailing moving forward. And it's nothing but great stuff to share, even though it's all still great stuff. But again, thank you so much for your time. Everyone, Statement Limousine, Karl Guenther, Katie Martinez, we're out. Peace.